Isn't it strange? We go to conferences and listen to speakers. Many speakers propose theories and talk about ideas. I don't know about you, but my mum always told me that actions speak louder than words. Well, let me tell you my story. I was born in Manchester in 1966. Yes, I am that old. Even I question whether I'm still relevant. My dad was a cab driver and he died in a car crash when I was 10 years old. My reaction was to block any thoughts about him from my mind. I wanted to avoid the hurt. This moment of my life has had a long-lasting effect. It still affects me today. I know that as I was growing up, I was immensely aware of my mortality. I actually didn't think I would live past the age of 35. My dad died 9 days before his 36th birthday. This led me to make certain life decisions based on this belief. At the age of 33, I was a very successful trader in a bank. I was making $1 million a year, worked Monday to Friday, with very few responsibilities. I decided to give up my free and easy and frankly very comfortable life to set up my own business. I decided I wanted to do something with my life. I wanted to make a difference. After all, I only had 3 years left to live. I actually set up 2 businesses. This was back in '99. It was the height of the dot-com bubble. The first one was called WorldMine. It was a website that I thought was going to change the world of travel. It was ahead of its time. We even had MP3 walking tours of the city. Unfortunately, people didn't have MP3 players yet. I learnt the hard way that it's better to be on time than ahead of your time. We had several banks that were interested in investing in us, but as the markets crashed, the funding dried up, and I decided to shut up shop. My reaction was to throw myself into my other business, little old Switch Fix. I set up a financial technology business that was very simple. It helped traders get rid of market risk. I'd given it to my friend Julian to run while I went off and made my trillions in the world of travel. Well, when WorldMine went bust, SwitchFix was still nascent. It had not even executed a single trade. But over the next few years, I built up my business. In September of 2001, I was in New York and was due to meet some banks in the World Trade Center. That morning we had some technical issues, so I was running late. I rang into my office to let them know and they said, "Don't bother coming in. A plane's just hit the building." I didn't believe them. So my colleagues told me to turn on the television, and when I did, I saw the second plane hit the Twin Towers. That day I managed to escape from New York. I headed off to my friend's house in New Jersey. It was 10 months before my 36th birthday, and I'd realized that I'd survived that one thing that was supposed to take me off the planet. My reaction was to do something positive. I decided I wanted to raise some money for the victims of the incident and decided I was going to give all our revenues from the following week to help them. At the time, my little business was producing just $25,000 a week. We only had 5 employees, and our sales force was me and another girl called Emma. I rang up all my customers and told them what we were going to do. That week, we knocked it out of the park. Our system created $100,000 in revenue, what we normally did in a month. All of our customers wanted to do something to make a difference, and they entered the system, many of them for the first time. We never looked back after that point. We had helped society, and at the same time, we'd helped our business. I learned a big lesson. Fast forward 10 months, July the 16th, 2002, I celebrated my 36th birthday. I'd outlived my father. My reaction, to be honest, was to lose myself again. I'd made back all of my losses from my old business. Yes, my business was successful, but I didn't know what to do next. In the next months, my relationship with Annika fell apart. We decided to take a break. In October, we went for dinner, trying to work out whether we should get back together. She said she was going to go on holiday with a friend, Polly, to Bali. I was supposed to go with her. She went off, and I stayed at home. A few days later, I received a phone call from my friend Scott. We were chatting, and he asked me if I'd heard what happened in Kuta. He told me there'd been a huge bomb, and the nightclub had been smoked. And I just said, "Annika, she's in Bali. I haven't heard from her. I've got to go." And I hung up. I spent the whole morning ringing around trying to get some news. I couldn't find out anything. I decided to get on the next plane to Bali and go look for her. I spent the next day walking around makeshift morgues and hospitals looking for her, but I realized I wasn't going to find her alive. I went back to my hotel, I took a shower, and I started to write. I was trying to think about what should I do. As I was sitting there, just wearing a towel around my waist, the door of my hotel room just suddenly opened. I went to the door and poked my head out, looking for somebody, trying to work out what was going on. There was no one there, so I stepped out. And as I did so, the door slammed shut. I was left naked in the hallway of the hotel. I just started laughing. I walked to the reception to ask meekly for a key and just thought, Annika's had her last laugh. She was always a joker. I came back to my room and I knew what I had to do. I had to do something positive. My mind went back 26 years earlier when I'd lost my father and I blocked him out of my mind. I decided I wasn't going to do something like that this time. I was going to do something to make a difference. Firstly, I was going to create a book of photos and readings to celebrate our life together, to hand to her friends and family. And decided I was going to create a charitable foundation so that something positive would come out of this. Something positive would come out of her death. I found myself again. I gained a purpose to my existence as well. Over the next few years, I came back several times to Bali looking for projects, and I decided to fund those projects with revenues from my business. I would dedicate a few days' revenue each year to charitable causes and raise funds for the foundation. At the end of 2008, I sold my business to a company called ICAP. And once again, I had to decide what to do with my life. And once again, I was a little bit lost. I'd achieved what I wanted in my life. I had financial freedom. I'd been a success. I'd made a successful business. I spent the next year trading and trying to work out what to do next. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make a legacy. I decided to venture into the world of real estate and hospitality. But I knew that I also had to make an impact on other people's lives. In 2002, we opened the Annika Linden Centre in Bali. Today, it's a centre of excellence that focuses on providing a home for several of the NGOs that we support. The foundation became the Inspirasia Foundation. We now have two missions. One is to help people in Bali and here in Malta through giving well and sustaining NGOs and helping them develop. The second is to inspire others to give. We work hand in hand with other organisations here in Malta and try and set an example. We've run several charity dinners. We jointly set up the Malta Social Impact Awards with the Kazan Foundation. The final of this year's Social Impact Awards will be held in March. This is the 5th edition of the awards. The awards are set up to reward great social ideas here in Malta. We run a competition and we ask for lots of different entries, and then we organise mentors for the best ones. And then we run a final, and in the final we give out grants to the best ideas. Many other companies and individuals co-sponsor these awards and events. In 2020, the world was faced with a huge calamity. The COVID pandemic affected all of our lives. In March of 2020, Malta entered lockdown, and I decided that I had to do something proactive and face the challenge. Most of my businesses were shut down. I decided to work with my employees to create a community website called Malta Together. It was an information portal that also helped promote community projects during the pandemic. The highlight was the Malta Together concert that raised €300,000 for the many different NGOs and also helped lift the morale of the country and pay tribute to the frontliners. We received a lot of help from others in the community, and this was a true collaboration from musical artists, businesses and people at home. At the end of 2021, we want to take this further. We want to launch an Academy of Givers. This will be a philanthropy academy aimed at inspiring other people in Malta, educating their companies, educating individuals. This is our next evolution. So where am I today, and why am I here? When I first came to Malta, I fell in love with this country and I fell in love with its people. I especially fell in love with Valletta, which to me is a truly world-class capital city. The one thing I noticed though was that Malta focused on quantity and not on quality. There were lots of hotels, but nothing truly luxurious. There were many good restaurants, but very few restaurants that focused on fine dining. Whenever I spoke about luxury, people told me, Malta doesn't have the shops, doesn't have the infrastructure. Well, having spent most of my adult life living in Asia, I knew that it's just not true. Bali and Phuket were real backwaters that have become luxury destinations. And Malta has much more going for it, with its amazing history, with its wonderful architecture, and of course the grand harbour of Valletta, truly the most beautiful harbour in the world. In November of 2020, during a pandemic, I decided to open Iniala Harbour House, a true world-class luxury hotel. It's very small, but has everything that a luxury traveller needs. I'm sure that this innovation will bring in a new type of traveller to Malta and bring in foreign investment. But I've also decided with this new hotel to go back to my roots. I want to ensure that this business gives back to the community directly. Actions, remember, speak louder than words. So we're going to sponsor 6 charity dinners this year in April, May, June, September and October and November to help NGOs raise funds. This is a challenging time for all the NGOs that are out there. And if you have an NGO and you want to have a fundraising event, contact us. And if you are chosen, we'll help host a fundraising dinner for you at Eye on the Harbour and cover all the costs of the meal. We will also help promote the event through Malta Together. Secondly, we want your collaboration to give some revenue to charity. Today, I'm going to launch a small campaign aimed at raising €20,000 for 2 worthwhile causes. The first one is Victory Kitchens, and the second one is the Malta Social Impact Awards. Victory Kitchens is a fantastic social project set up by Rafael Samut that sends hot meals to hundreds of families every week. He set it up during the pandemic, and I want you to help me raise money for them, and also for the Malta Social Impact Awards. We're going to sell 20 packages online and give 100% of the proceeds directly to these organisations. Please go to Iniala Malta's website and click on special offers and go to the charity offer and book anything from a night stay including dinner to a penthouse party for 16 people where you can actually stay in the penthouse as well. I'm personally going to cover the cost of these bookings, so all the money you will spend will go as a donation via the Inspirasia Foundation to these causes. If you can't afford to buy a package, buy the Malta Together book. This is a collection of beautiful art and writing created during the pandemic. These were the winners of the competitions we ran to keep people busy at the time. The book's just €20 and you can buy it online or from a gender bookshop. So remember, actions speak louder than words. Collaborate and evolve and innovate, whatever you're going to do, but do something, make a difference. Come and join us. Thank you very much.
Well, what a fabulous presentation there, Mark, and lots to be thinking about.
Make a difference. Come and join us. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, it's good to see you. And I hope that we got the message through to people that we really are trying to not just talk today, but we actually want to make something happen today. So thank you very much for gracing the ICE Factor, because what you've done has actually given me the impetus to launch something and given us a platform to say we're going to raise €100,000 this year in our first year. I don't know if we're going to make any money at our hotel because it's going to be quite tough with a pandemic, but at least we're going to give something back to society. So I hope that I know your eyes for Innovate, but I would also use I for Inspire, because I think inspiration is so important to people, and we need to inspire people to go out and to give this year, to go out and understand that 2021 is going to be a little bit like 2020, but at the same time we're coming out of this terrible pandemic, and we're going to have a great year ahead of us. We can give back, we can be part of community, so let's all take action. Let's go and do something and make sure that we can help society.
That's absolutely brilliant, Mark, and thank you very much for joining us from Dubai.
Thank you.